You're listening to Swinger University with Ed and Phoebe. Slip into something more comfortable. It's class time. Here are your hosts, Ed and Phoebe.
Hi, this is Ed.
And this is Phoebe.
Today we are sharing an email from a listener. She loves to scream and squirt. My favorite kind of girl. Her question, of course, was, do you put a sock in it? How do you manage the vocalizations, the extra wetness while you have your playtime at a club or a party?
Good question.
Yeah, it's one we've struggled with, but we have
solutions.
First,
yes.
Now that things are starting to open up and vaccinations are becoming more available, we have,
high hopes.
We can't emphasize this enough, very high hopes that the November 2021 Bliss Cruise will actually happen.
I'm counting on it.
Yes, we will be there.
Yes.
So if you're on the cruise, please seek us out.
Yes. And we will be easy to find. Why?
Because we're going to put a big poster on our door. So
BAP. Big ass
poster. To go along with the WAP, which is the wet ass pussy.
Oh.
Anyway. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a scavenger hunt, probably, because I don't know that we're going to actually announce what cabin we're going to be in. We got to keep you all at bay. I don't want you, storming the castle. I don't know, maybe we should.
What?
Anyway.
Hello? Best advertising ever.
Hey. Hey. Also, we recently signed up for the November 2022 Bliss Cruise as well. So
yes.
We're going to be on both of them.
Yeah. We like the fall cruises because they're a little bit longer.
And how that came about, we went on a spring cruise, and the day before the cruise ended, we were like, oh, damn.
We need more time.
We need couple more nights.
Yeah. You barely start getting going and then
April, yeah.
Yeah. We hit the ground running. We made the most of every night.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we know more things, we're better prepared, we will be a little more acclimated, it won't be quite so deer in the headlights.
Right.
With all the crazy onboarding activities.
Yes.
The second thing that I want to bring up is if you're listening to us on YouTube, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel. We don't have very many subscribers. We'd love to get to 100 subscribers at least to get us over the first hump. But please, if you're listening to us on YouTube, or if you listen to our regular podcast and you just want to subscribe on YouTube to bump us up, we'd be more than happy with that. We also are planning on doing some more video content than just audio content.
Correct.
It's tricky though, because we're trying to stay a little bit anonymous.
Yeah. We'll get creative.
We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out.
To the email. My husband and I are new to the lifestyle, and your podcast has been very helpful for us. I'm very vocal, and this makes me self-conscious about having sex at a club or party. The more aroused I get, the louder I get, and basically, I end up screaming when I orgasm. Oh.
Okay.
That's so terrible.
Sign me up.
I worry about being distracted or a turnoff for others. I'm also a squirter, which again, self-conscious about this happening at a club, so much so that I've asked my husband not to make me squirt while we're out. I should clarify that my husband loves it when I squirt and I get noisy, but I worry that maybe it could be off-putting to others and possibly ruin future fun times. Do you have any advice? Should I keep the noise down?
So what's funny is we read this email, and the email's not funny. This is a legitimate
Oh, yeah.
mental struggle.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. But we had a heck of a fun time coming up with titles for this podcast. So some of the titles that were thrown out were Sock It To Me or Juice Me. I had a Willy Wonka vision in my head. with that
Right. And I was like, oh, sock's not very sexy. Let's come up with something different.
one. Yeah. So the other one that we came up with was Too Loud, Too Wet? Question.
Right.
Playing in the splash zone. Now, we make that reference all the time, especially with Phoebe in the playroom, because there's definitely an area towards the foot of the bed that you better be ready.
Yes.
And the last one that we didn't go with was the Wet and Wild Show.
Yeah. All very good. But when Ed... See, I already start laughing. When Ed threw out gag me and hose me down, I lost it. I was on the floor, rolling around, my eyes, I was crying. I was like, he goes, I think that's the one.
I think that's the one. And so if those of you who are tuning in thinking that this is a BDSM podcast, it's not. But bear with us. We're going to continue with this theme.
Yeah. All right. So my response to the listener's email is, first of all, totally get you and understand. I, too, am very vocal.
Yes.
The vocalization really helps. Like it turns me on, it turns my partner on, and we've found that it turns other people on as well. We haven't really had any negative reactions in groups or in private sessions. I mean,
No.
when I say we really haven't, I mean, no one's said anything.
Yeah.
They're not going to go, please hold it down, ma'am.
I'm sorry, we're trying to fuck over here. Could you keep it down? No, we haven't heard that.
No. You probably will never hear that. And honestly, I wish more women were vocal because it's a turn on, and a lot of our women are pretty quiet, and maybe they're really not quiet. They're just maybe a little intimidated by the environment. But I encourage you, scream, baby, scream.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to say the times where we've played with another couple and either one of the women was really vocalizing, everybody freaking high fives each other.
Oh yeah, that's true. That
Like we've
did
had some
happen.
high fives where the orgasm was that good that she was that loud that we were all like, damn,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, that was good. Clearly somebody's having a good time.
Right. It's so fun. It's so fun when that happens.
Having said that, though,
Yes.
we're going to run through some pros and cons and strategies that
As
we've
we
come
do.
up with
Yes.
over the years.
As we said, when it's great, it can set the whole room off. It's very inspirational. People are high-fiving. And it lets the man know that you're having fun. It lets everyone know that you're having fun.
Absolutely. Like, think when Harry met Sally, she was having that fake orgasm in the restaurant, and the little old lady at the other table was like, I'll have what she's
Some of
having.
that.
Swingers are wired to be kind of accepting of this.
Sure.
People having a good time having sex, that's good.
Yes.
We're all 100% for your orgasm.
All in. Where it can be, this is the con, where it can be not so great is when vocalization could be over the top and maybe intimidate others. And we're gonna tell a story about that. The only time, once out of all the times we've played, where I experienced hearing too much vocalization was during a private play session at a couple's house, where the woman must have been a serial orgasming machine.
Right. It was nonstop.
Nonstop. And to clarify, it was very loud for like 20 to 30 minutes nonstop.
I'm sorry. It was my fault. I'm apologizing now. I let that happen.
And at first, it was exciting. But then for me, it was distracting. Kind of like, you're at the gym and there's that one guy in the gym, and with every arm curl and every squat and every push-up, you hear him grunting. And you're like, really, dude? Just stop it. Can you stop already? I'm trying to focus and you're making noises. Everybody knows what I mean.
Right.
It's so annoying. So that was very distracting to me. Now, I will say we didn't have any kind of crossplay going on. So it was, we were on the same bed, but Ed and her were partnered up, and I was partnered up with him. And they were doing their thing and we were doing our thing. But Ed seemed to be really doing it for her, but her partner really wasn't doing it much for me, which kind of compounded the whole, really?
And
I'm over here getting
it's that
sloppy Joe
sense of being left out of the party.
Yeah, it was a little, I didn't feel so good. So I had a small little pity party about that. I say that because those are some contributing factors, right? However, the noise was extremely loud for extended period of time.
Yes, this was an unusual circumstance.
Very unusual.
Atypical
Yes.
vocalizations.
Your typical outlier.
Right. So
yeah,
for the listener, if you are really vocal, try not to hold yourself back. I mean, like, the whole point is that you're supposed to enjoy yourself. And if that's how you have fun.
And express yourself.
Have some fun.
Yeah.
You may consider keeping in contact with your partner, maintaining eye contact. In other words,
your
read
primary
the room.
partner. Yeah, read the room, right.
Read the room. Mm-hmm. If nobody else is having fun and you're having all the fun, good for you, but there may be some, resentment. At the same time, I don't know. That may not actually be a thing.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm trying to encourage you to be vocal, have a good time, let loose, because you may inspire the other couple to just go for it too. Who knows? She may be, the other woman may be holding back because she doesn't want to be too vocal.
Right.
And both the husbands may be benefiting if you both just let go. Just let her rip. And they're both like, holy crap, what's going on?
There is something to be said about reading the room. And because you're in a group setting, I believe it's important to, as a woman who our roles are we're in charge of keeping people connected, right? As mothers, this is our role to connect individuals. And so making sure people are feeling good. Now, I don't want you to take responsibility for their feelings, but,
Right.
observe, hey, is someone feeling left out? And this has happened in several play sessions where someone will step aside, they'll towel off, they'll get a drink of water, and they come back. Maybe they're not stepping in right away, but I'll always check in and go, hey, are you all right? Yeah, I'm just grabbing a drink of water. I'll be right back. They come back. Hey, you want to come and join? No, I take a break or whatever, or he'll come and join, or she'll come and join. So I think it's important, for people to feel like they're always, included, because you can get very caught up in that moment.
Moment, right? Your personal having your own experience thing.
Right. And it's like 69. It's that tug of war that you
69.
love. I hate 69 because Ed
69.
always wins.
It's the competitor.
Becomes
in
a
me.
competition for us but he always wins. So I always think I'm going to win, but it's so distracting. It's that push and pull where you're like, you surrender to the pleasure, and then you're like, no, I'm going to give pleasure, and then you surrender, and then you give, and you surrender, and you give, and you surrender, and you're, oh my God, drives me crazy.
So the takeaway for this, for women who are very vocal, men typically aren't vocal. I mean, they can be, but it's atypical that men are vocal.
I know. I wish they were more vocal.
I like getting vocal sometimes.
I know. I like when you're vocal.
Get the grunting, the caveman, the whole Neanderthal,
I like the grunting.
sawing the logs kind of thing. So for women, I think the advice that we're trying to give is let loose, have a good time, be yourself. Mm-hmm. Don't put the governor on the engine. Let her rip.
Yeah.
You're a top fuel dragster. You're just gonna let her go, right?
I love the male analogy.
I know.
It's awesome.
But
Uh-huh.
read the room too. Have a good couple orgasms at like full throttle. But if you're getting the impression that the rest of the room is like, wow, what's she having? Because we're not eating the same thing. Then figure out how to like reconnect with your partner or make a different connection or change the dynamic in some way. Maybe get more people involved. Maybe it's too much one-on-one and it's not enough 4 people on a bed.
Right. And now that you say that, from our perspective, though, we like playing with all the people in a group, or as many people that...
As many as we can get in the hotel room.
Right. But some people maybe don't want that much interaction and prefer a single focus.
Right.
And groups tend to make them a little nervous. So, again, whatever your flavor and whatever you want to do, the world is your oyster.
And I think part of it, though, is being aware if somebody else may feel like they're being left out. And I think that's the aspect where the vocalization starts to run amiss in the room, and that's you're having more fun than anybody else. So if you kind of try and involve people like, hey, come on over here, we're all having fun.
Right.
Then it's a little bit more like a team sport than an individual sport.
Right.
Don't know.
Yeah. And this rarely happens, so
I know.
I mean,
because honestly,
I really wouldn't worry about it too much.
We're like 3 beds over in a big playroom, and some woman's having the time of her life. We're all like, fuck yeah.
We're cheering her on.
Across the room, high five.
We're laughing. We're giggling.
Go, girl.
It's fucking awesome.
It's absolutely delightful to hear someone else, well, coming till their mind is blown. Like, it's all good.
Right.
I've never had a problem with that.
Squirting. I squirt. And it's fun.
Yes, she does. Yes, it is. It's actually become a little bit of a
circus
thing? Almost like a performance and or the trick of trying to get the other woman to squirt too. Like, that's my trick. Like,
Wait, we're not supposed to.
Oh, you got that queued up? I didn't read the script.
Up later in the podcast.
Getting ahead of myself.
But
it's probably because I'm all excited.
I know. I'll tell you when you can come in.
Okay. You tell me when I can come in.
If you're a squirter, the enthusiasm is contagious.
Yes.
Watching a woman orgasm is fantastic, as we've already said. Squirting is quite the spectacle to behold, and it's fun.
People pay good money to watch, like, the fountain show at,
in Vegas.
In Vegas, right? Like, people will, like, go and watch that for hours. The lights, the squirts, the fountain.
I think it's free, actually, but a lot of people do watch it.
Vegas.
Well, yes, that is true.
But you're right, it's a free show. And when we put on a show, it's free too. We don't charge.
No, we don't. Maybe we should. Damn.
If you like tonight's show, please contribute a little to the hat. Put a little hat down at the end of the bed.
Yeah.
Get some tips.
Yes. So, most people love it. Becomes something fun to try and experiment with the other couple. And Ed has been asked many a time to do what?
To finger their partner until they squirt.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. We've run into a number of women who are like, I just can't do it.
Women say they can't do it, and then the partner
say, I haven't been able to get her to do it. And so,
particular example, that was a male, and he said, you need to show me how to do that.
And I'm like, I'd be happy to finger your wife. I'll try it. It may not work, but I'm going to try it. The one story that I think we're thinking of was in Sonoma.
Oh, yeah.
Where she was like, I've never squirted. It's never happened.
It's not a thing. Yeah.
We ruined their carpet.
Oh, yeah.
The side of their bed. The comforter. And
we warned them.
We did. We had them sign a disclaimer. There was a release. And we said, furniture may be damaged in the process.
Right.
But they signed up for it. So yeah, there's a particular technique that works really well for this. And not all women can do it, but a lot can.
Squirt.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yes. It's a lot of fun. We haven't had many complaints.
We haven't had any complaints.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. We haven't had any complaints.
A one.
Single one. No. Most people are actually looking forward to it.
Yeah. They're like, oh my God, you squirt? I gotta see that. Holy shit. I've seen it in porn, but it's fake. You do it for real? Yes.
Okay,
there's no stunt doubles. This is all real.
So before we get to our Bliss Cruise 6 beds deep in the solarium story...
Oh, you're just teasing them.
I just remembered this other time. I think it was Halloween. Remember we had the 2 hotel rooms that connected together?
Oh, yeah.
And one of the beds had a few couples on it. And
yes.
One of the women, she was so gorgeous. And she was being fingered by a gentleman. And, oh my God, I was just high on all this excitement in the room and all this just orgasmic frenzy. And I think he motioned me over to between her legs. So she was at the edge of the bed and her feet were on the bed. And so her legs were spread and he was fingering her. And then when she let go, I stepped in between her legs and she just showered me.
It was pretty hot.
Showered me. It was so erotic and so exciting. I was beside myself. I was like, oh my God, that was the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah. You're on the giving end a lot. Not many times are you on the receiving end.
No, it was fucking hot as hell. It was so exciting. And I was just soaked and it was just bliss.
Yeah.
It was so awesome.
A good time was had by all.
Oh, that was a great night.
Which brings us to the giving instead of the receiving end of squirting.
Uh-huh.
So, Bliss Cruise, April, forever and a decade ago. It wasn't that long ago.
I know. It feels like
it seems like we're in the time warp.
The COVID time warp again.
Get me out.
I know.
So we are patrolling the solarium on the Bliss Cruise. Loved the solarium.
Oh,
best playroom.
Great.
So the beds are all stacked next to each other, and there's like little wispy, semi see-through drapes between all of the beds. Mm-hmm. We got on the bed. We're with another couple. Mm-hmm. There's another couple next to us on the next bed. No, sorry. Two couples on the bed next, and another two couples on the bed next.
And next, and next, and next. Yes.
Right. Like, it's just, everybody was playing with each other. There was fucking, there was fingering, people were masturbating.
Sucking, fucking,
and at some point, you got inspired.
I did.
To start playing with yourself with your feet on their bed, pointing your vagina at them.
Right.
And
on the edge of our bed. Yeah.
Moments later,
I was going to town. It felt so good.
Oh, it looked so good.
And then
all of a sudden, you start squirting on the couples that are next to us. Not just a couple,
and
two couples.
And I didn't ask, and I felt so bad, but I just had to let it go.
And the girl who was like on the receiving end of this was like, oh, yeah, this is great. It was so hot.
It was the best ever. It really was.
Okay, so here's the thing. You're in a playroom. You're already kind of sweaty, kind of sex juicy, kind of wet, vagina smelling already. What's a little squirt?
Right? I know.
It's just a little more.
A little squirt.
Okay, you hosed them down.
I did.
But that's okay. They did it with a smile.
They did.
They were very happy.
They could have moved away. You know, they could have seen.
We offered umbrellas. Nobody took us up on that.
No.
So, all that being said, we've had a lot of squirting experiences because Phoebe, in her wonder vagina, loves to squirt. And
I wish you all could have seen it. He did that. What is that?
I think it's the sprinkler. You know, where you kind of motion down to your crotch.
Where your hands go bam down to your, like, where your thighs meet your
This
toes.
is why we need YouTube, right? Like full on video.
I know.
You get the pantomiming and the vocals all at the same time.
Bam. All right.
We haven't had any complaints about the squirting, and as a matter of fact, we've had nothing but positive and or enthusiastic participants with squirting.
My gosh, yes.
All that being said, we actually have some strategies
Oh,
and some
yes. All right. So
some
listen up.
Miss Manners approaches.
Here-
You won't be taught in etiquette class about this, but we will.
All right. So here's what we do. All right. Enough of all this titillation. Okay. Usually we give people heads up before we play. Hey, Phoebe squirts, just a little heads up. If you want to move outside the splash zone, we'll give you a cue when you need to move.
Or get in the way.
Or get in the way, yeah. So sometimes, depending on our comfort level with that other couple, we'll just disclose it up front. And it's just you just kind of feel it out. Sometimes you don't have time to feel that out, or maybe it just doesn't come up. But we always carry a piddle pad with us. If we don't carry one, wherever we're at, they usually have extra towels. And so we just get an extra towel. We put it on the bed. We go, hey, Phoebe squirts. And we just want to have our supply. We'll just have the towel ready. And they're like, oh.
And absolutely the tip, if you're going to get a hotel room, get 2 queen beds.
Yes.
Designate one as the play bed and the other as the sleeping bed. Because guaranteed, even if there are not squirters involved, shit's going to get wrecked.
Shit's going to get wrecked.
I mean, there's fluids going places.
Right. But there are people that are selling blankets, waterproof blankets.
We have
now.
One.
But before that was happening, we bought a
waterproof stadium blanket.
So it's fuzzy on one side and slick on the other side, right?
It's like fleece on both sides, but there's a waterproof membrane
barrier
in the middle.
Yeah. Super inexpensive. You can find it on Amazon or wherever.
Right. I don't want to take business away from the companies that actually make sex blankets, but I'm going to take money away from the people who are making sex blankets. A waterproof stadium blanket is the exact damn thing.
Right.
Because rain, regardless of whether it rains down from heaven or from the heaven between her legs, it's all the same.
If the woman seems really confident, I verbally express it to her up front. Hey, I have a propensity to get wet. Oh, me too. Super easy. If the woman seems a bit timid, we tend to be a little more discreet. Like I said, we pull out the squirt pad or a towel when we need it, and we mention it on the spot. People either lean in or they'll lean away.
Right.
And like we said, we've never had anyone be offended. The only thing we've had people say when they're hosting a party is, if you tend to be a squirter, please use the supplies that we've provided so that you can preserve our couch, our bed, our carpet, etc., wherever they've designated as a play area. So you're just mindful of that, and you're considerate of their home.
Right. And we've had that same experience with coconut oil being spilled on the floor, women squirting. There's a lot of stuff that you just kind of go, well, this is going to stain the carpet, so let's be considerate.
Coconut oil.
Yeah.
Felt so bad for them.
I know.
It was not us. Not us. I actually felt bad for them. They didn't even notice.
Right.
But anyway.
So, if you're gonna go big.
Go big.
Go big.
In summary, it really comes down to embracing the freedom to express yourself while including the other couple. And I say, women, keep on screaming and squirting.
Absolutely. Before you turn off our podcast to take care of all the vanilla things pulling you away, please reach out and give us a review. I know mashing a star is so much easier, but a review is so much better for sharing your love of what we're doing with others. We would appreciate it. If you want to share a personal story, ask us questions, or share your comments, you can contact us at swingeruniversity@gmail.com. Check us out at swingeruniversity.com, where you can find links to our Twitter and Instagram feeds. Thank you for listening to Swinger University, your horizontal enrichment podcast.